Each individual have a slightly different definition for negative emotions. One person may find sexually stimulating thoughts delightful and a most enjoyable kind of diversion. Another may consider them impure, bad, unhealthy, or otherwise disadvantageous. Some individuals can, with ease and exuberance, imagine themselves in a fistfight, a brawl, unmercifully beating the devil out of an adversary. The same thoughts may fill another man with intense terror and grave feelings of guilt. This same man, however, who would not purposely entertain fantasies of such nature under normal conditions, may in time of war imagine himself killing the enemy with the greatest feelings of holy joy and righteousness. What is usually forgotten is the real nature of aggressiveness, which in its truest sense simply means forceful action. This does not necessarily imply physical force, but instead the power of energy directed into a material action. Birth is perhaps the most forceful aggression in your terms of which you are capable in your system of reality. In the same way, the growth of any idea into temporal realization is the result of creative aggression. It is impossible to try to erase true aggressiveness. To do so would obliterate life as you know it. Any attempt to impair the flow of true aggression results in a distortive, uneven, explosive pseudo-aggression that causes wars, individual neurosis, and a great many of your problems in all areas. Normal aggressiveness flows with strong patterns of energy, giving motive power to all of your thoughts, whether you consciously regard them as positive or negative, good or bad. The same thrusting creative surge brings them all forth. When you consider a thought good, you usually do not question it. You allow it its life and follow through. Usually, if you regard a thought as bad or beneath you, or you are ashamed of it, then you try to deny it, stop its motion, and hold it back. You cannot restrain energy, although you may think you can. You simply collect it, whereupon it grows, seeking its fulfillment. This will lead you to say, supposing I feel like killing my boss then, or putting poison in my husband's tea, or worse, hanging my 5 children on the clothesline instead of the towels. Are you saying that I should merely follow through? I sympathize with your predicament. The fact is that before being assailed by what may seem to be such terrifying, unnatural ideas, you have already blocked off an endless variety of far less drastic ones, any of which you could have expressed quite safely and naturally in daily life. Your problem then is not how to deal with normal aggressiveness, but how to handle it when it has remained unexpressed, ignored, and denied over a long period of time. Later in this book, we will deal specifically with methods to that end. Here I simply want to point out the difference between healthy, natural aggressiveness and the explosive, distorted emergence of repressed aggression. You will each have to discover for yourself those areas in which you strongly repress your thoughts, for many energy blockages will be found there. All of this will be covered in the later section. For now, consider this blocked energy. Consciously, most people are already afraid of it. They did not repress it because they considered it good. When I use the word repressed, I do not mean forgotten or shoved into the unconscious or beyond reach. You may pretend that such material is hidden, but it is quite within your conscious awareness. You have only to honestly look for it and organize what you find. It is very possible to see such information and not see it at the same time, simply because you do not add all of the data together. No one can make you do that, of course. To do it, you must have a sense of courage and adventuresomeness, and tell yourself that you refuse to be cowed by ideas that after all, belong to you, but are not you. Now, it is often said that a man believes in devils because he believes in gods. The fact is that man began to believe in demons when he started to feel a sense of guilt. The guilt itself arose with the birth of compassion. Animals have a sense of justice that you do not understand, and built into that innocent sense of integrity, there is a biological compassion understood at the deepest cellular levels. In your terms, man is an animal rising out of himself, from himself, evolving certain animal capacities to their utmost, not forming new physical specializations of the body any longer, again in your terms, but creating from his needs, desires, and blessed natural aggressiveness inner structures having to do with values, space, and time. To varying degrees, this same impetus resides throughout all creaturehood. Such a task meant that man must break out of the self-regulating, precise, safe, and yet limiting aspects of instinct. The birth of a conscious mind, as you think of it, meant that the species took upon itself free will. Built-in procedures that had been beautifully sufficed could now be superseded. They became suggestions instead of rules. Compassion rose from the biological structure up to emotional reality. The new consciousness accepted its emerging triumph, freedom, and was faced with responsibility for action of a conscious level and with the birth of guilt. A cat playfully killing a mouse and eating it is not evil. It suffers no guilt. On biological levels, both animals understand. The consciousness of the mouse, under the innate knowledge of impending pain, leaves its body. The cat uses the warm flesh. The mouse itself has been hunter as well as prey, and both understand the terms in ways that are very difficult to explain. At certain levels, both cat and mouse understand the nature of the life energy they share, and are not, in those terms, jealous for their own individuality. This does not mean they will not struggle to live, but that they have a built-in unconscious sense of unity with nature in which they know they will not be lost or immersed. Man, pursuing his own way, chose to step out of that framework on a conscious level. The birth of compassion then took place of the animal's innate knowledge. The biological compassion turned into emotional realization. The hunter, freed more or less from animal courtesy, will be forced to emotionally identify with his prey. To kill is to be killed. The balance of life sustains all. He must learn on a conscious level, then, what he knew all along. This is the intrinsic and only real meaning of guilt in its natural framework. You are to preserve life consciously then, as the animals preserve it unconsciously. This marks the end of Seth Speaks, The Nature of Personal Reality. This is Chapter 8, and this is our Part 5. Let's discuss. So, here Seth discusses the concept of negative emotions and how different individuals perceive them uniquely. He explains that true aggression, which is a natural, forceful action, is essential for life and creativity. However, repressing this natural aggressiveness leads to distorted, harmful expressions such as neurosis and, of course, war. He emphasizes that repressed aggression is not hidden, but can be consciously acknowledged and even managed. Seth also touches on the evolution of human consciousness and guilt, contrasting it with instinctual compassion seen in animals. If you've enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, sharing with a friend, and of course subscribing for more. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss any updates or videos. What did you think about this particular passage? Please leave it in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I am Tony Victory, a wolf uncaged. Thank you.